Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Clown Cafe. This week we have movie of the year, which
Yes.
is Sinners.
Mhm.
As always, we're going to start the episode off by reading you a synopsis of the movie, and Hannah's going to read that for you off of Letterboxd.
All right. So, trying to leave their troubled lives behind, two twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. Dun dun dun.
Round of applause for Hannah's reading skills.
I did
Yay!
it. I didn't mess up a word this time, y'all.
Well, let's really just get right into it because we probably have a lot to say
I
about this
do.
movie because Sinners was an absolute masterpiece. If you're
It
unaware,
was. And
if you
seeing
haven't
in
watched it,
IMAX was crazy.
see, I didn't get to see it in IMAX.
It was an experience, man. I was like, damn, mind blowing.
As always, this will be full of spoilers, so if you haven't watched Sinners yet, go watch it right now. What are you doing? Because it's literally the movie of the year,
And
and
it's coming
it's,
out on Max as
yeah,
well.
it is. So go
Unfortunately,
watch it because it's amazing. Very beautiful film. And if you don't like it, there's probably something wrong with you.
to be
No offense.
honest, no offense.
Full
Take
offense.
offense
Yeah,
because
full offense.
there's something wrong with you if you don't like it, okay? I'm
I
just kidding.
was I was scrolling my mutuals letterbox reviews of Sinners, and I did see somebody rated it 3.5 stars. I don't remember who you were, but
Like, I'm coming for you.
just know if you're watching this, you're on my shit list right now. Okay.
They're like, oh
Love
my God.
you with love, with love. But 3.5 stars.
Nah, see,
That's not gonna fly. Five
I don't
stars all the way.
I don't want to think different of my mutuals. So I have not looked. But I know if anybody rated that shit less than a 3 star, we need to talk. We need to talk. Cause
Three and a half stars just felt
three
so low. That
it
kind of they'd
does.
hurt. It hurt really bad.
Honestly, even a 4 star seems too low. Like
There
you're
were
just
lots of four and a
disrespecting
half and
culture
five
at that
stars.
point.
I know. 5 stars all the way. 10 out of 10. Recommend. Go watch now.
I agree. I agree. All right, let's get into it because when it first opens, that artwork was fucking sick. And I meant to look up to see like who created the artwork for the opening sequence, but I unfortunately, but
It is very
that was
gorgeous.
beautiful. I loved it. You're just like, oh, okay, this is gonna be a nice movie. Every time you
Hmm.
have a really nice opening sequence, you just get a good feeling. You're like, all right, let's
Yeah,
see what
you get
we need.
you get some nice opening music, a little bit of I think a little bit of banjo
Mhm.
maybe, and Annie talking, which
I love her voice.
yes, so soothing.
Mhm.
But what she's saying at the beginning of the movie is also brought back up later on and does play a significant part in the film itself and in probably, I would say, the most popular scene of the movie and one of the most beautiful shots from the entire movie.
I don't even know if we should get into it, so I don't want to say
I
anything.
know.
Just shaking my head. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
you're so right. I literally
Yeah.
put their first. There I go.
Foreshadowing.
The
Foreshadowing
foreshadowing. I
for
was like,
later.
oh, the foreshadowing. Yep,
Let
I
me
love
stop
it.
clicking my pen because y'all can probably hear that. I think I was doing that last episode and I could hear it when I was editing. I was like, what is that clicking noise? Oh,
I didn't even notice.
my pen.
I like
Clicking
zone
my
it
pen.
out.
Hopefully we have less technical difficulties
Well,
in the
no.
editing process.
Well, why did it pause so much last time? I didn't even do anything. Like when I watched it through on my computer in the downloads, it was perfect. YouTube.
YouTube corrupted our footage last week. Sorry if you watched on YouTube because me and Hannah both cut out, froze, disappeared like 18 times. It
Yeah.
was a bit of a mess, but we
Yeah.
left it up because we're new to this.
YOLO,
Give us
as
some
they used to
grace.
say.
Give us some grace. We're figuring it out.
We're figuring it out, y'all. We got a new site, so we're good. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
hopefully things are better on our new site that we're using because the last one was definitely not it.
better.
Not at all. The laggiest, buggiest website ever.
Ever. Hmm. I agree. Oh man. Okay. All
So,
right.
anyways, Sinners.
So, Sinners, guys, about the movie. No, okay, so when Sammy first walks up into the church and they're showing like they show the beat up ass guitar, and they're showing like little clips of flashbacks of the ending battle. I never really caught on to that the first time that I watched it in theaters. I don't know. I mean, obviously I knew it happened, but I obviously realized what it was this time. And it was cool seeing like the ending little
Yeah,
flashbacks in the
I
beginning.
love when a movie starts with the ending.
Yep. Yes. Me
When it
too.
loops back and everything ties back together, and you're like,
Hmm.
oh,
Like, oh, that's
so that was the
why.
significance of that.
Yep. It's always kind of like a, gotcha, I feel like moment.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, yeah, so the first character that we're introduced to is Sammy, or Preacher
Sam.
Boy, whatever
Preacher
you want to
boy.
call him. Uh, he's the first character we're introduced to. Him and his family. His father's a preacher, hence the name Preacher Boy.
Yeah.
And Sammy likes to play the blues.
He's damn good at it too.
He is voice of an angel.
Literally. Like
Beautiful.
the voice of a god of the angels. Um, I'm trying to think. There we go. Miles.
I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I couldn't figure it out and I wasn't even gonna try because I don't want to butcher it.
Well, we're gonna say Miles. Okay, Miles is
Yeah,
his
Mr.
first name because
Miles.
we can say that. But I love that that was his first role, like
Hmm.
in acting. That's fucking
Yeah,
crazy because he did a
was
kick-ass
amazing.
job.
Yes. So
And
good.
that also reminds me, I don't think you've said you've seen it yet, but one of the actors in Bring Her Back, it was also her first debut in
Okay.
acting. So I'm like, there's two actors this year alone that started their roles in horror and fucking killed it.
That's
Horror is
that's
just
awesome.
so
I love to
amazing.
see that. That's
Yeah.
like when the Black Phone came out and
Oh, love them.
it was good. But the two child actors or the two main child actors, I think
Mm-hmm.
that was both of their like first main roles and they both crushed it.
Yes,
Like
and
some of the
I
best acting from
children
child
actors.
actors that I've seen in a long time.
I agree because sometimes child actors piss me the fuck off, and I'm so sorry to judge, but they just they either overdo it or they way underdo it. Okay, and no,
No
they were
shade,
perfect.
no shade to Bailey Madison because I love her now that she's grown. But Bailey Madison as a child actor was a hard
I had to think
watch.
about who that was, and then it clicked, and I was like, oh god.
Love her as an adult, but like when she was in Disney Channel movies, it was
Bad.
like, didn't she play the little sister in Bridge to Terabithia? She pissed me the fuck off in
Oh
that
my
movie.
god, she did.
She played the
You're
little sister,
so
and
right.
all she did was cry and like I don't know. Love you to death, Bailey Madison. This is not shade to you,
She's
okay?
gonna be like, the
Just
fuck?
you're a wonderful actress, and I love The Strangers Pray at Night.
Hell yeah. No, she was really great in that movie. She's like one of
Hmm.
my favorite Final girls to be honest, but
Yeah.
yeah, her younger days were cringy.
Hmm. But yeah, no, Miles absolutely fucking crushed it
Oh yeah, he did.
as Sammy. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know, I feel like when it's your first role and you're matching Michael B. Jordan
Yeah,
in your acting department,
you're going places
you're
100%.
yeah,
Hmm.
like you're gonna have a good future ahead of you because obviously Michael B. Jordan's a great actor.
Yes.
So, I mean, this movie was full of great actors. Everybody was amazing.
Literally everybody was on point.
The whole movie, everything. Like I have so many
Everything.
good things to say about this movie because
I know, me
everything
too.
about it was just so
It was
perfect to me.
perfect.
It
Yes,
was.
I agree.
The
I agree.
acting, the characters themselves, not even just like the acting from the characters, just the characters and their development, the
Yes.
music, the cinematography, the practical effects. Like we always say,
Mhm.
we're always going to mention it if there's practical effects. We're going to talk about it. But
Yep,
all of it just perfect. Perfect.
I agree. I was gonna say something, but I was like listening to you talking and it totally went
Lost your train of thought.
a little bit.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Hmm. Was it? It's okay. It'll come to me. It's about the movie anyway, so it doesn't matter when I say it.
I be yapping too much in these episodes sometimes, and I'll go to edit and I'm like, damn, I talk over Hannah a lot, which I don't know. I kind of feel like we take turns. When I'm editing, I'll be like, oh, one of us is always talking over the other person because we can't ever just. All we know how to do is yap
We just get so excited and we're both just like, what? What
yeah,
we're gonna say.
every single time.
I know. I know.
So we
Um,
meet Sammy at the beginning, which is one of our primary characters. I would say Sammy's the main character of the
yeah, to be
movie.
honest.
I mean, like, there's a lot of characters that are a big focus, but I'd say Sammy's the overall main character. He's the main focus of the story, the whole reason for parts of the story and aspects of it. So,
Because of Sammy.
yeah,
Yep.
so we meet him first. He's a sharecropper on a plantation. His father's a preacher, like we mentioned, and he's done working. It's the weekend, and he wants to go play the blues.
Oh yeah, as you should.
So his cousin comes and picks him up and gets him in on this juke joint.
There's like someone standing like outside my door, and like I see their shadow right there. It's just like, why are you just standing outside my door? If you're gonna knock, knock. If not, go away. Because my
Just
window's open, so
leave.
I just see the man's face just right there.
Go
Kind
away,
of
sir.
creepy. I know. He's distracting me. Sorry, guys.
I will come through the screen and gouge your eyes out. Don't play with me.
She will too. She would.
I'd
All
teleport.
right. I didn't mean to interrupt you. The man's just creeping me out low key. But anyways, so one thing I remembered what I was gonna say, by the way. I was
Okay.
going to say that I appreciate that this movie took so much time to develop the characters because I know a lot of people complain about that. And yeah, you shouldn't, because I actually appreciate that this movie took so much time to develop not just one or two characters. Every single character that we were introduced to had their
Yes.
own backstory, and I fucking loved that. That
Yes.
was awesome.
See, we talked about this in the last episode. We barely touched on it because we knew we were going to be doing Sinners for our next episode.
Hmm.
But we talked about this last time about how we love good character development.
Hmm. Because Prom Queen lacked it. I remember that. You're
So
right.
bad. So bad. But I mean, it's a 2+ hour movie, and the first hour alone, maybe a little bit more than that,
Maybe a
is
little more.
spent, yeah, is spent mostly giving backstory and developing all of the characters.
Hmm.
And I saw some gripes about that. I That was why several people said they didn't like the movie. Uh, I mean, to each their own, I guess, but I would much rather have well-developed characters that I care about when
Mm-hmm.
they start to die.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just
Like,
my personal opinion. It's okay if you don't feel that way. I strongly disagree with you,
I'm gonna
but
talk shit for a second.
do it. I support it. Do it.
It's like the people that complain that Terrifier 2 is too long, but there's not enough character development in Sienna, for example, which I don't agree in this. Okay, this
I
is what other people
disagree.
say. This is what other people say. This is not our opinion.
Yes.
But then there's people who are like, oh, well, Sinners was too long because they took too much time developing the characters. Like, what the fuck do you want? Do you want a long movie that doesn't supposedly take time to develop a character? Or do you want a movie that takes a long ass time to develop characters? Make up your mind. People are
Right.
always just unhappy
That's
and bitter.
something that I think will definitely come up in our Terrifier episodes because that's something that always makes me
Pissed
irritates me
off.
so bad is
Mm-hmm.
because everybody's like, "Oh, there's no story in Terrifier. It's just gore
My ass.
and blah 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 blah." Like, were you watching the movie
They
with at
didn't.
all? Like, no
Nope.
story where?
They skipped
Because
past all of Sienna's parts just to get to the gore to complain about the gore. That's what it seems
usually,
like.
yeah, I think that's what it is. Because
Yeah.
Sienna had great development, especially once we got three, which don't let me get off on that tangent because you know me and Hannah can talk about Terrifier forever.
Ever. We have
And
like
we're
four
not here to
hours
talk
for
about
that.
Terrifier today.
We're not. Sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to. I just wanted to talk shit because people are always unhappy and complain about something.
Yes, but you're so right about that because people do
Mhm.
complain about that and then just a lack of story overall. And I'm like,
Mm,
y'all,
wrong. You're
I
wrong.
respect everyone's opinion,
I'm being
but
a
you're
hater
you're
today.
wrong.
Sorry.
I
Hmm.
respect your opinion, sort of, kind of. We're all allowed to have our own opinions, but you're wrong.
We're all allowed to have our own wrong opinions.
Exactly. Exactly. There you go.
We're just hated. That's funny.
So,
All right.
what happens next?
Hold on. Before they leave, though, they say the very, very iconic line. Preacher Boy's dad tells him, if you keep dancing with the devil, one day he's gonna follow you home right before he takes off with his cousins. And
Yes.
he's just like, probably thinking to himself, Dad, you need to chill off, man. But he was 100%
Very right.
he was right. Yep. Another foreshadowing moment
Yes.
once again. All
I
right,
don't
so
remember who picks him up. Is it Stack?
I want to say it was Stack,
Yeah, I think it was Stack. Stack picks
but
up Sammy, and
and then they go to oh Chow, right? With thieves try to steal from their truck and shit.
no, see
Or what
what
happens
happened.
next? I'm like trying to think.
Well, okay, before they even pick up Sammy, we then meet the Smokestack twins
Oh, you're
as they're
right.
buying the sawmill
Mm-hmm.
from Mr. Man. Don't remember his Hogwood. His name was Hogwood. Uh,
Hogwood is a very
who
interesting name.
it is. Who we later find out is the Grand Dragon of the KKK. He says to them,
Mind blowing.
yeah, uh, they buy this old sawmill from this man to turn it into a juke joint. Obviously, the movie takes place back in the Jim Crow era, so we're also in Mississippi. Shout out my home state.
That makes so much sense.
Shout out my home state. Uh, anyways, they buy this sawmill and they're like, all right, now here's your money. Take it, leave. We don't want to see you again. We don't want to see any of your clan buddies. And he says to them, he says the clan doesn't exist anymore. And the first thing I said, because I went and saw it with my mom in theaters, and we both just looked at each other and we went, bullshit.
If anything, it's more alive today than it ever has been.
I was like, the Klan still exists today
Yeah.
here. What do you mean?
Yeah.
I was like, that man is full of shit.
Is it this? I mean, it's not really off topic, but I don't really know much about that. Is that all? It's like all in Missouri? Or is it like scattered throughout the United States, like Klan members? Like, is it all like in Missouri or is it
Mississippi?
Mississippi? Am I Mississippi, Missouri,
Same
state?
thing.
They're the same shit. I'm just kidding. No, but
Yeah, no. I live in a very, very red state. Okay? Mississippi has not really progressed much since the old days. Unfortunately. Uh, yeah, no. Our local sheriff's department where I live was actually in national news last year
oh,
for doing some KKK type stuff. So, yeah, no, the Klan is definitely still alive and well today in the good year of the Lord 2025. So,
of course.
yeah, it's a little scary here sometimes.
Hell yeah. I would not want to live over there, and I'm white, so I mean, I can only imagine how it would be for people of color.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because even like, you know what? I'm not even going to get into this right now. Let's,
Very a very backward state.
yeah.
We're
Yep.
like bottom of every list ever, except for the crime one. I think we're pretty high on the crime. But
Honestly, so is mine too.
education, um we're like number one in poverty, obesity, so many different things. We're just they said, fuck those guys, just leave them over there to fend for themselves. And nobody's doing a great job.
You just need to come over here. Not that it's much better, but you know.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go to California.
My town that I'm in is, sorry, I know my chair is really loud. Literally is rated like number one or number two in the worst air quality in the world. So you definitely don't want to come
Huh.
here. Yeah. I'm probably gonna die like 20 years earlier than I should because of it.
Me too. I have high cholesterol, like bad high cholesterol. I'm gonna have a heart attack any day now, so.
Me too. Oh my God. One day it's just gonna be like the Hannah twins had a heart attack.
At the same time.
Honestly, if it's not at the same time, I don't want it.
Exactly. Knowing us, it will happen.
It will.
Okay.
I won't stop moving, guys. Sorry. I'm like trying to adjust my chair. Okay.
It's the ADHD. We can't
It
sit
is.
still.
I cannot sit still, bro. It's driving me insane. All right.
So we meet the
Back to
smokestack
singers.
twins. Yeah, we've met the smokestack twins. They bought the sawmill. Uh, Stack goes and picks up Sammy. They meet Smoke. They decide the only way to get things done and open the juke joint that night is if they part ways and handle business separately, which they don't do. So, so Smoke takes the truck. He goes into town to acquire some things. Or no, who does what? I'm tripping. It was Smoke. Okay, Smoke went into town,
Smoke.
and Stack took Sammy, and they went and recruited some folks.
There we go. I'm like, sometimes I get them mixed up too, and I've seen this movie 3 goddamn times, but it being played by the same actor
Same.
is not fucking
Confusing.
easy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
Smoke
know one of them is Smoke is blue. He always has the blue cap.
blue, and
And
Stack's always in like
Dax always
red.
has the red, like nice little, I don't even know what that thing in his collar is called.
Mm-hmm.
He looks nice though. They look nice. He looks
Yes.
nice. It's only one man.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan, the man that you are.
Yes.
I think that was our chat. as always, when are we not thirsting over somebody in the Discord chat while we have our movie nights?
Honestly. It is
Never.
always somebody. It's always a creature, a monster, a person.
Yeah,
Somebody.
somebody.
A
Somebody's
woman.
getting thirsted over.
Somebody.
Always. That's all we know how to do.
If we're not thirsting over somebody, it's not us, y'all, okay? Just
Exactly.
call 911 because that heart attack is coming. We're so serious.
Every time. I know you guys love it. Don't even lie.
They do. They're probably like, you know what? It's more fun listening to them talk about random bullshit than it is the
They're like,
movie.
yeah, they're like, we don't care about the movie. We've seen the movie. We
We've
don't need
seen
to know
it.
what happens. You're just telling me what happens. We'll just listen to you talk about random shit.
You know what? It helps us to talk about what happens because then we get to talk about our thoughts as we talk
Yeah.
about what happens.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
don't judge us. Right. Okay, yeah. Turning my page.
So Smoke goes into town. We are introduced to the Chows
Mm.
whenever Smoke goes into town because he recruits them for a sign, some food, I think. Uh, don't remember what else, some other stuff. I don't know. All I know is that he was being very generous. Generous.
Generous. Generous.
Generous. He was being very generous with his money.
Oh, yeah. Yes, he was.
And he hired that little girl to watch the truck. And 10 cents for every second.
Hell yeah.
That was a lot back in those days.
Yes, it was.
She was making some bank just to sit
Yes, she
there.
was. I would have been like, yes, sir, whatever you need, even though I know who you are.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, no problem. So then those dudes try to rob Smoke's truck full of booze. And
Dumbasses.
Smoke shoots one of them in the ass.
And the ass shake.
In the ass. And that was one of my favorite quotes, I think, of the whole movie. Because he turns around and he realizes who it is. And he's like, Terry, how have you been? And he said, well, I was doing better before you shot me in the ass.
Oh no, I hate when I snore.
But it was so funny.
It was. It makes me laugh every freaking time I see it because it's
And
so
then it was
funny.
even funnier because then he shoots the other guy in the knee and he's like, damn, what was that for? And he was like, well, I can't have you telling anybody that you almost robbed me and you don't have anything to show for it.
I know, and then they all get mad at the little girl. And she's like, I warned you guys, or like, what did she say? Where she was just like, oh, I told you guys he was coming. Here later, like, I didn't believe it was really him. Like,
Yeah. He said,
or
we didn't know this was your truck. She said, yeah,
yeah,
you did. I told you. And he said,
there we
I
go.
thought you were lying.
Yeah, that's so funny. That whole little part is very, very I don't know if comedic is a word, but it
It
is
was
to me.
definitely comedic.
Yeah,
This movie is the perfect balance of so many different elements, like
it is.
comedy, horror, action,
Gory
romance.
romance for sure. Mm.
I mean, it had everything that you
We
could
getting
ever
up
ask
to
for.
a little bit of the tension of romance right now, too.
Yeah, yeah.
When they talk
Between
about,
me and Hannah.
mm, I know that's right. All right. So,
um, go ahead.
nothing. I was just gonna say after that, then they go to the freaking train station, and that's when they meet our girl.
Yeah, yeah. Stack takes Sammy to the train station, and that's where they go to get Delta Slim, who is probably my favorite character in the movie.
He's fucking awesome.
I love him
I
so much.
do.
They go to pick up Delta Slim, who also plays the blues, and they want to recruit him to play piano at the juke joint. So they go to get him. We get a little background on him, sort of.
Kind
Uh,
of.
yeah. And then we meet Mary and Pearline, two of our
So gorgeous. Oh my God.
two of our female love interests.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, all of the women in that movie were so goddamn pretty. I
They
was
were.
like, all right. And then all the men, I'm not gonna lie, were pretty hot too.
Yeah.
I was like, this is insane by Panic.
Bo. Bo Chow.
Hell
That man.
yeah. He was, well, I don't know what it was about him when he,
Turn
spoiler, turned
turned
into a
into a vampire.
vampire. That aura that man had, I was
Yes.
like, damn, okay.
When he walks up to the door and he's like, "Hey baby."
Yeah,
He's like,
he
"I got the
was
car. Let's go." And he was just like so, I don't know, just the way his hair was and what he was
everything.
I was like, "Damn."
I would have been like, oh, yeah, let's go. I'm going with him. I don't care what y'all say. He concerned me. All right, sorry, we'll get back on track, y'all. Uh, I
One of
thought,
my
go ahead.
one of my notes was that they talk about munching carpet a lot in this movie. A lot. I was not
Yep,
prepared going into this movie for how much they talk about eating coochie.
yep. And well, not necessarily showing it, but kinda. They show
Yeah,
the intent of it happening a
yeah.
lot, as they should. Because you know what? If I was, not that any of them were vampires when they were eating pussy, but if I was a vampire, that's what I would want to do with my time too. Turning people and eating coochie. Hell yeah.
That's it.
That's it, y'all. Oh my goodness. All right.
I mean, they talked about it a lot, like
A lot.
a lot. And I was
I
like, okay,
I think Ryan
okay.
Coogler was a little feeling himself a little bit when writing
Whenever he
this.
wrote this, yeah.
Hell yeah. He's who are you thinking about, sir? You were thinking about
Somebody.
someone.
He was inspired. Who's
He
your
was hella
muse?
inspired. Hmm.
Who's
I,
your
I
muse? We need to know. Why is my Siri going off?
I thought you
All
said
of our stuff is
cereal. I was
Siri.
like,
My
cereal?
Siri was trying to
Uh,
go off.
I love how they bribe fucking Delta Slim with beer.
Yeah,
They're like,
he
you can
pulls a
have forty
beer.
dollars a night and all the beer you can drink. He's like, hold up, all right,
He said,
maybe I
okay.
will.
He was like, well, okay then, if you
Oh
say
yeah,
so. Because he pulls the beer out of his pocket and he's like, well, he's trying to get Delta Slim to come play, okay? And he's like, not having it. He
nope.
said, no, I'm going to be at Messenger's, same place I am every
Mhm.
Saturday for the last 10 years. I'm loyal and dedicated. I'm going there because it's reliable, all right?
Smart. Not
They
gonna lie.
couldn't get him. And then Stack pulls that good old Irish beer out of his
Chicago
pocket,
Irish beer.
pulls it out, and he said, oh, hold on. Wait a minute. He said, what is that? And he was like, oh, this? It's Irish beer. And he said, that's beer?
I
Give me that. Give me
love
that.
them so much.
Did you, did you ever, whenever that was trending on TikTok, that was like a viral sound or whatever of that guy that was just like, give me
I don't remember.
that. That's what it made me think of.
That's so funny. It was so real. I mean, I don't drink beer, but back in
Same.
the day, you know, I probably would have because that's all that really was. So I would have been like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
$40 a night is fucking insane for back then, for one. And free beer, all you can drink?
Yeah.
I'm in. I'm in.
Exactly. But yeah, we meet beautiful, lovely Mary at the train station.
Feisty
She
ass girl.
very, very feisty. She approaches Stack and she's like, "Oh, welcome back. Since you abandoned me 7 years ago."
Yep.
And he's like telling her to get the fuck on somewhere. First of all,
Sir.
what beautiful
Rude.
woman approaches me?
I don't give a fuck our history. I'd be like, yes, ma'am. Whatever you say, you can come with me.
She said, "Go to hell." He said, "Shit, I will."
So see you there.
Yep. That's exactly what he said. It's
Yep.
like,
They were, it was funny because their tension right off the bat, you're just like, oh,
yep,
they're
lots of
gonna hook
tension.
up later in this movie. At least that
Yep,
was my thought. I was like, they're gonna fuck.
yep. And
And
then
it
it,
almost happened.
yep. And we also get Stack, I mean, not
Mhm.
Stack, Smoke and Annie. Smoke goes to, visit Annie
I love
because
them.
he wants Annie to cook their food for him for the juke. And he also goes to visit their baby, who we learn is not with us.
Mhm.
They had a baby that they lost, and so he goes to visit the grave
She
and
makes
goes
me
to
so
visit
sad, bro.
Annie. Yeah, that scene did make me so sad, but it was also so
Mhm.
beautiful because
It was.
they finally reunite with each other after, like I said, they'd been gone 7 years, and they rekindle their love right then and there on
You want to
screen
start
for us
crying.
to see.
Yep.
They rekindle it all right.
She said, I know your body ain't forget me. I'm like, girl,
Uh, that's exactly, yep, that's what she said.
that gagged me. I was like, oh my God.
I
She
was
didn't.
like,
And
oh,
she looks so innocent too. You
yes,
look at her and you're just like, Annie looks like the type
like
of like woman that
comforting, yeah,
hmm she's a freak too. They're all freaks.
everybody. Freaky
Honestly
as
though,
hell.
after 7 years, I can't blame them. If I saw him after 7 years of not having him too, I would attack him too. Be like,
You'd be like, let me climb that like a jungle gym.
would you say in the chat? I want to climb him like a tree.
Did I say that about him, or was that when I talking
Oh,
about
that was Bo
Bo Chow?
Chow. Yeah,
I
that was
said
Bo
I would
Chow.
climb him like a tree.
Yep, that's so funny.
Because he was looking good.
Hell yeah, he was. All right,
So
so
they keep on their mission, keep recruiting folks. Stack, they pick up Delta Slim, they keep on going. They pick up Cornbread, probably my second favorite character.
cornbread.
My two favorite characters are two of the side
Side
characters.
characters.
Because Delta
Yep,
Slim and Cornbread, I loved
same.
them both to death. But they go to pick up Cornbread, and he's working in the field. Him and his wife are there.
His
And
wife is
Stack's like,
beautiful, bro.
yes.
Oh my
And
goodness.
Stack was like, all right now, come on, I got a job I need you to do. And he was like, nah man, I gotta meet my quota, okay? I'm working. All right. I don't have time for your bullshit.
Respect.
And then Stack starts going on talking about some, again, we getting freaky because he's talking about, well, I bet your wife's really gonna let you fuck her, whatever, when she finds out how much money you're gonna be making, yada yada yada. And he's like getting offended. And then his wife chimes in, she goes, how much money we talking?
She's like, how much?
She
Cause
said, Therese said, get that bag.
hell yeah. Because I mean, if that opportunity was given to my man if I had a man. And he didn't take it, knowing damn well we're over here busting our ass in the fields. I'm gonna be a little upset. Go get
Exactly.
your ass up and go make us some money.
Yeah, go make us some good money.
hmm She was
You
real
got the
as fuck.
opportunity. Uh-huh. And Stack said, "That's a good woman," and he
hmm
was right.
hmm He
The Reese
was.
said, "Go get your money, baby." I cannot sit still either. You've got
Me
me
neither, dude. I'm like
squirming over
constantly
here in my
moving.
chair, and it probably sounds so beautiful in the microphone.
I surprisingly can't hear it, but I know you always say you can hear it when you go to edit. So
Yeah. Whenever I go to edit, everything is like loud and clear. Oh my God, I'm shaking the whole everything.
shake, shake, shake.
Okay. Anywho, um,
I
I'm
look down
trying
at
to
my
think.
notes, and the first thing I see is you stuck your tongue in my coos.
That is
Sorry, y'all.
exactly what she said. Mary said that had me gagged when she said that. I was like, girl,
In
what did
theaters,
you just say?
you were with your mom, so I can only imagine. I was by myself, and I was like, "Oh, damn!" She just said that. Okay,
She said, well, then you stuck your tongue in my coos and something, something, something.
and fuck me so good, I thought you changed your mind, something like that. I don't know, but she, he was gagged too. He's looking at her
He's,
like, "Girl, you just said that in front of
he's,
everybody."
he said, I know
Okay.
that didn't just come out of your mouth.
God, I love her so much. She is so funny. All right. The part when they finally take off and they're driving past the prisoners. That part made me sad, to be
Yeah,
honest. I
it
was
is
like, man,
depressing.
so fucking depressing. Like, of course, the fucking cops are just white, always.
It's so depressing, but also, do you, I think the sound is like a viral sound
The
in
clanking?
videos and stuff. No, 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 no. No, there's an audio or like a clip from South Park,
Fucking South Park, of course.
which, if you know anything about South Park,
I do.
it's pretty offensive.
It's very offensive.
But there's the one scene where one of them, I don't know which one it is. What is that dude's name? What's one of the main guy?
Eric, the fat one,
I think it's Eric.
bald. Well, they all wear caps, but he's bald
I
under
don't
the
know.
cap.
I just know it's like a sound I always hear in like videos on Facebook Reels or on TikTok that's like, Massa got me working. So,
Oh, yes.
and I was like, that scene came on, and that's all I could think about was that stupid fucking clip from South Park. And I was like, I need somebody to edit that sound over that scene.
No, because why'd you have to say that? Now I'm gonna picture that stupid ass fucking part every time I watch Sinners.
I really hope that that's not offensive for me to say, by the way. If it is, please let me know. I'm sorry.
I mean, you didn't create South Park, okay?
That's true. I'm just telling you
So
what
you
happened in
can't.
South Park.
And it's a trend. That was a trend on TikTok too. So y'all come
Yeah.
for Hannah. I will literally find your fucking house.
Don't
Don't
cancel
try
me.
me.
I'm just trying to make a comparison and tell you what it made me think of.
No, but that's really funny because I'm just gonna picture it every time now. I hate that fucking stupid trend. Oh, TikTok. It's rotted our
Uh,
brains.
yes, it is. But they keep recruiting folks. Um, and then we get our first shot of our antagonist, which, might I say, is just beautiful. And the like imagery and symbolism,
Are you talking
beautiful.
about when Remick drops?
Yeah, when he like
Mm-hmm.
drops into the frame like
Mm-hmm.
a fallen angel.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, fallen angel, the devil, hello.
Mm-hmm.
some symbolism going on here, and I love it, and it's beautiful
It is. Oh
because
shit.
he drops into the frame and he's like smoking because he's a vampire and he's out in the sun.
He was all fudged up, man.
Yeah, he's like all his face
Burning
is
to
kind
a
of burnt
crisp.
up. He looks like shit,
He
and
does.
he knocks on those people's door because the Native Americans are
They coming
trying
after
to
his ass.
come after him. Yeah. And so he goes and knocks on these two white folks' door, and well, they happen to be part of the KKK, which
Mm,
no shocker there. They're in the
none.
Delta in the 1960s or whatever year it was. I can't remember.
I don't
Had to
remember
have been
either.
earlier than that. Had to have been earlier than the 60s. I don't remember what year this movie took place.
And now I want to know. Now I'm gonna look it up as you keep talking.
Yeah, I was going to
I'm
say,
very curious.
I can't remember. I know it's set in Clarksdale, the Mississippi Delta.
Damn. 1932.
Okay, I was way
Sheesh.
off, but I knew
You
it
were only
was
30 years off. It's
only
okay.
30 years.
Only 30. But, uh, well, I was gonna say something.
1960s.
Don't start
1960s.
with the yawning, because you're gonna make me start, and I'm not even tired.
Oh boy.
Every time. All right,
So,
all right. We'll stop getting sidetracked, y'all. Oh, wait, I wanted to mention, and I don't remember which fucking part it was, but when they're driving, when it's Delta, it's Sammy and is it Stack?
Stack.
Stack. They're driving, and Delta's just telling his story about his friend Rice and stuff, and you get the little bit of backstory on them, and he starts like humming
I
and
mean,
like
yeah.
smacking on the banjo and stuff, Sammy, and they're making the little beat. That was like an improvised part because
Yeah.
he wasn't supposed to start doing the humming and shit. And Sammy, you can kind of tell he was like, "Wait, what's going on?" Like, and Stack's like, "Come on, man, like get into it, start singing."
Yeah, that
And that's
scene
why,
made me a little emotional.
yeah, me too. I wanted to bring it up, so I was like, I love that part, man.
I did too.
Mm-hmm.
So we meet Remick. He obviously turns the people whose door he knocks on because they let him into their
He turned
home.
the man first, huh? What was
Yeah,
his name?
Bert.
Bert. Bert.
Bert.
Good
Because
old Bert.
yep, because the Native Americans come. I think they were Choctaw, part of the Choctaw tribe. They come knocking on the door, and Joan, the woman, answers the door. She's like, "No, we haven't seen any man. What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Well, God bless you if you let that man into your house, because you are royally fucked if you did." And so they
They were not
leave.
lying, at least.
They weren't. The sun's setting. They were like, "All right, time to skedaddle. We don't have time to be playing out here in the dark where
Mm-mm.
the vampires can get us. Let's go."
They knew.
And so
They didn't even
Joan
try to
goes
warn
back.
her either.
No, not at all. Well, I mean, kind of. They said, "God forbid you
Kinda.
let him into your home," and they say he's a bad man. But
I
I
suppose.
mean, I probably wouldn't believe somebody if they were like, "He's a vampire." I'd
I
be
was
like,
trying to think.
"Get your
I don't
crazy
know.
ass off my porch."
I'd be like, let them bite me and I'll figure it out.
That's so true because I would let them turn me into one. So,
Exactly. All right, sorry, continue.
but she goes back in and she's calling out for Bert, and Bert's not responding. So we're like, Bert's dead.
Bert's gone.
Bert has bit the dust, and so she goes back there, and we get that shot of Remick that is such a
Mm-hmm.
jump scare because the combination of the music, like the tense music, and then it pans to Remick, and
His
his face
eyes
is
glowing
covered
real
in
quick.
blood. Yeah, his eyes are glowing red. His face is covered in blood. He's just like, "Oh hey," he's just
So
resting.
casual.
He's just like chilling. He's just resting. He'll be up in a minute. And then Bert rolls over and he's like, "Hey baby." He's like, "I feel great." So
Poor
obviously
girl.
then they they turn Joan off screen.
Joan was like, oh, could you imagine walking into that though, being her and just
I'd be
having
like,
those
what the
random men
hell?
come at your door and tell you, yeah, this weird guy, don't let him in your place. You're fucked if you do. And then you turn around and your husband's dead. You'd
Yep.
be like, well, he was right. It was karma low key.
I did love that scene though, and because it cuts to her screaming
Mm-hmm.
after Bert wakes up or whatever, and then the music that starts to play when then because it cuts to nighttime or
Mm-hmm.
whatever at the juke joint, and the music that plays is just so like the organ.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how to describe it. It's very gothic sounding,
Mm-hmm.
like something you would hear in Dracula's castle, but
It's literally
kind
like
of
vampire music in a way.
yeah, vampire, but also kind of modern
Like
sounding. I don't know. Like it was I don't
I know
beautiful.
I know what you're trying to explain. Yes.
Beautiful music all throughout this movie. Like every piece
Mm-hmm.
of music in this movie, so good. Amazing score.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack is banging in this movie.
It is every bit
It's
of it.
like
And it's not like it's just one genre of music either. It's
oh no,
you
huge
get
variety.
such a variety
You
and
got
I
the
loved it.
blues, modern, kind of classical. You got
Some Irish
some
music.
Irish. Yeah, they got a whole mix of music in that movie. I fucking love
Hmm.
it. It was so good.
And then the vampire like gothic music. I
Mm-hmm.
loved. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Me
Beautiful.
too.
So we get to the juke joint. It's nighttime. People start showing up.
Yeah, they're doing, their music and stuff, jamming, and
We're
then
still kind of getting introduced to the characters, getting some
yeah,
development
some
on the
more background.
characters, learning more about them. And I'm loving every second of it. I was locked in
Oh
the
yeah, me
whole
too.
movie. Like, never once was there a point when I'm like, damn, is this movie almost over? Jesus.
Nope, not once. Never.
Like, locked in the whole time.
I remember when in chat we were like, "Oh, there's still like 40 some odd minutes left," and everyone in chat was like, "Holy
What do
shit,
you
really?
mean?
Like, what do you mean?"
I feel like this movie's been flying by.
Yeah. Like, man,
And it did.
it's almost over. It's
Yeah.
good. You
They
don't
get
feel
to.
like you're watching a 2.5 hour movie at
No,
all.
no. But
Mm-mm.
they get to the juke joint. Uh, Pearline shows up to the juke joint, which
So
we
fucking
meet.
pretty.
We met Pearline at the train station. We didn't talk much about her, but we did talk briefly
I
about
did
how
want to
she
say
was
something about her too.
introduced. Gorgeous, beautiful woman, flawless, perfect.
We totally forgot
Married,
he was married.
married. By the way, um,
Was
sh
she?
yeah, she tells Sammy at the train station that she's married. He
I
says,
know.
He said, happily? Question
Mm.
mark. And she said,
I don't
boy,
even
be
know.
careful. She was like, be careful, boy. You gonna bite off more than you can chew. And he was
I was
just
gonna
like,
say something a little inappropriate, but he kind of did.
he did,
He
indeed.
did.
He did chew.
Literally, figuratively chewed.
He was munching.
He
All
was
right.
munching. We're like,
But
hell yeah, preacher boy.
Pearline gets to the juke, and Sammy's like, ah, so you made it. She's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And he said, your husband coming? She said, no, he's not.
I don't think he existed. I think she used that as some sort of like, I don't want men to fuck with me if I don't catch their vibe. So I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
say I'm married. But I
Yeah,
like Sammy.
yeah.
So
She said, I'm married, by the way.
wink wink. I can't wink very
Yeah.
well, but
But he's telling him about how he's related to the twins and yada yada yada. And she goes,
I'm gonna say
okay,
add a little clip thingy.
okay. Anyways, so he's talking about how he's related to the twins, and she goes, oh, but you seem like such a nice young man. he says, I'm not always nice. I ain't that young either. And I was like, damn, he's got game.
He does.
Sammy had some game.
He did. He was so handsome too. I would have fallen for him in an instant.
He had some riz, for sure.
hmm Being able to play the way that he did, let alone would have been enough for me. I would have been like, "Yep,
I think the
you can
fact
have me."
that Michael B. Jordan played twins and had such insane chemistry with both women
Oh yeah, crazy. Is that
says,
man married?
I don't know. I don't
Oh,
think he is.
he better not be married. Because if I was his wife, I would have been like, "Oh my god."
Haley Steinfeld is. I know that.
I know she is. I'm
To
not
a
happy.
icky man.
I
He's like a baseball player or something. I don't
don't
know.
know. He's in sports. I don't fucking know. She
No
should be
idea.
married to me.
So true.
Just kidding. I have too many wives.
Me too. I have, that's a lie. I have one wife.
Who?
I have one wife. She's right here, right now.
Me? Like me?
Yeah.
Oh my god. There's like a part in the corner when I talk, and when I said me like that, it literally went all the way to red.
They said, oh,
They're like,
volume
damn,
loud.
she's screaming. My bad, guys. Rip ears, headphone users.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys. All right. So after Pearline and Sammy have their little moment, and Mary comes in, and who was at the front? Was it Cornbread?
Yeah.
Was watching the front, and he's
And
all
she,
trying to get rid of her, and she's like, "You know me, Cornbread. Come on." He's like, "Little Mary." Oh
yeah.
shit.
He was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, come on.
Yeah. I love how everyone's just like, "Oh, we like Mary."
Yeah. The
Real.
token white friend. The token white friend
Pretty
in the
much.
group.
Poor girl. I'm trying to see cornbread. Damn, what is this?
Um, I don't know. Things once they get to the juke, that's when things kind of really start to amp up.
Yeah,
And which it takes a little while, but
not
Mary
too
comes
long, but
in. They're trying to get rid of Mary because you know, Stack Stack's trying to get rid of Mary. She's not going anywhere.
she ain't gonna leave.
She's like,
She,
I'm not. I'm first. She said, first of all, I'm not here for you. I'm here to hear the blues. I don't give a fuck
mm,
about you right now.
pretty much, and she's so fucking real.
She said, I just want to listen to some good music and drink. I don't
Mhm.
give a fuck about you. Okay? She's like, I just lost my mom. I'm here to vibe. You can leave me alone for all I care.
I forgot
But
about that. You're right.
but they do not leave each other alone, okay?
It's because their chemistry is just insane.
Undeniable.
Yes, they were just meant to be. He should not have put her with some random
Hmm.
motherfucking white man. Okay,
Exactly.
why the hell would she want that?
She said
I
she
would have
didn't
been
want
like,
that.
boy.
That was his idea. And she
Mhm.
was like, I don't want that. I wanted you.
Mm-hmm. I would have been like, nope, I'm divorcing you. I don't
Yep.
want you. Get the hell out of my face.
Yep.
Just like she told Sammy, boy, get the hell out of my face. That's what I would have told my white husband.
Hmm. And then Smoke's getting pissed off because they're taking, fake money or whatever. Because, I mean, you're holding a juke, all right, for all of these people that are working plantations. And you think they're just going to come in here loaded with cash?
Yeah.
Come
Not
on
very
now.
likely, to be honest.
Like, Smoke. Just because you've been making your money hustling folks in Chicago with Al Capone doesn't mean these people over here
Busting
working in
ass
the
in
fields all
fields,
day
not making
are
a damn dime.
Yeah. And he's like getting pissed off because they're not making enough real money or whatever. And Stack's like, look, that motherfucker worked hard for those wooden nickels. He's had a long day. You're gonna let him drink. Let him have a good time. That is what this is for. It was a safe space, or
Mm,
supposed to be a safe space for their people.
it was
Was
supposed
not
to be.
in the end.
Till Remix ass decided to show up. But that was after the most amazing part of this entire fucking movie, in my opinion at least. When they
Which
do
part?
when they
Oh,
do
yes.
Sammy does his song
Yeah,
and it has the transition that
they
lights up the
introduced
crowd.
Sammy. Yeah. They introduced Sammy to everyone, and he plays the blues. He plays his song, which great song, by the way. I Lied to You, banger. Added to my Spotify playlist immediately.
Me too.
So, so good. But that's when it ties back into the beginning scene of the movie where I mentioned that, we hear Annie talking, and
hmm
that kind of foreshadowed later in the movie because she's talking about, you know, how the power of music and how musicians have this power to basically conjure spirits from the past and the future through the
hmm
power of music, which I thought was a beautiful message, first of
It
all.
was.
And the visual representation of that, just so good, because Sammy starts playing. He's playing the blues. Everybody's, clapping along, stomping their feet, whatever. And then it starts to transition. And I don't remember what comes first. I think it's the guy with like the turntable or whatever.
Are you talking about when it starts doing all the different
It
types of
starts to
beats?
get all mixed up. Yeah, they
Yeah.
start mixing it up. There's like a guy. Suddenly, there's like a guy with turntables. You're like, what the fuck is going on? What is
Yeah.
happening? Hold on. And
Yep.
then you start to piece it together because then it's like,
Different
various different
cultures, like,
cultures of
yep,
like music from different
music.
cultures. They're all dancing,
hmm
having a great
Different
time.
outfits and
Mm-hmm.
oh, that was such a fucking
Like,
beautiful scene, dude.
yeah, past, present, future, all of it.
Yep.
So,
All of it
and
in the juke. Just
yeah, and Annie's
fucking
narrating in the background, talking about, conjuring spirits and whatnot. Oh, I got the hiccups. Sammy's playing, and then you start to see Ash, and it pans out, and it's like the juke is on fire or whatever, which so
beautiful
visually
transition.
beautiful, so visually stunning. And then it pans to Remick and crew, because it's the ash, and it pans up to the sky, and so you see a mixture of like ash floating and then all the stars.
Yes, that
It was
was
so pretty.
beautiful.
It
The
was
little
so pretty.
flames like flying
Yes,
up in the air too from the juke being
yes,
on fire.
yes.
Oh
And then
yeah, I
it
was so
it
pissed.
pans to Remick, and he's standing there watching, like,
Big
yeah,
grinning. Yep.
I'm a go get that boy, and I'm gonna
Hell
get
yeah.
his music,
That
because that's
music,
what he
he felt
does.
it in his soul. He was like, hell yeah. Oh,
He
and Cornbread's ass just fucking sitting there. That shit had me laughing. I did not notice. I've seen that movie 3 fucking times, and it took me the third time to notice Cornbread's ass just sitting in the chair while everybody's dancing and all the flames are going up. He's just chilling,
sitting there guarding the door, doing his job.
doing his job. Fucking Cornbread. I love him.
So it pans to them, and then Remick, Joan, and Bert come approaching the door, and Cornbread's like, hold the fuck up. Who are these white people? Go get the twins right now. And so
We
they
heard
come, and
tale of a party.
exactly. And they're like, sorry guys, y'all can go down the road. They've got a good place for the white folks. Whatever. And Mary's standing in the background, and Remick goes, so how did she get in?
You get in there then.
He's like, he's like, oh, it's because we're and like rubs his hand. He goes, "So how did she get in here?" And they were like, "She's family. Mind your business, okay? First of all, mind your business."
They had no chill with that shit either. He's like, well, how the hell did she get in here then if I
Exactly.
can't get in here? Jim Remick.
And he's like, "We just wanna, fellowship with you guys. We wanna listen to some music,
Yeah.
whatnot." Who was it? One of the twins, I think, asked. He says, "Y'all clan?" And
Mm,
that scene cracks me up every time because he goes, "Sir,
sir.
sir." He said, "We believe in equality."
His face will never like not make me
He
laugh
was
because
appalled.
he was stunned. He's like, excuse the hell out of me.
He was
Like,
like,
no.
"Clan? Me? No." He said, "Not over here."
He's like, nah, I'm not gonna speak for these two behind me. But me?
He
No,
said,
sir.
"Peace and
Mm-mm.
love." Is what he said.
That's vampires right there. Vampires don't give
Yep.
a fuck about race.
Mm-mm.
Vampires just want your blood. They don't care.
So then they play their little song for him because they're trying to get into this juke bad. They want
Oh,
in
so
here
cute.
bad. So then they
Yeah.
start playing their little their little tune on the banjo, and Stack, I think it was Stack, is like vibing the fuck out. He was like sitting there nodding his head. He was like, "This low key slaps. Like this is kind of fire." And then they're like, "Yeah, no, you gotta go. Go on. You're not welcome here. Sorry." And they were like, "Well, whatever. I guess we'll walk slow in case you change your mind." So then they
Which
leave.
I mean, honestly, Mary was real as fuck for saying that they should join, which I mean, yeah, I know it kind of fucked everything, but or
Mary
that she
was
was gonna
like,
go
"Let
to
me
Mark.
go." She said, "Let me go fill them out. See if they got some money to spend."
She's real.
Cause, cause they
They
weren't
needed
making the
it.
money they needed. And Mary was like, "I'll go fill them out. I'm white. They'll talk to me more than they're
Yep.
gonna talk to you." So she goes out there, and obviously we know what happens next. Joan and Bert, so fucking creepy.
Oh hell yeah.
They did such a good job at making them creepy as fuck. Just every
Mm-hmm.
time that they would repeat every little thing Remick said,
Yep.
and the way that Joan was like, "Fellowship and love."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's just like
so
she was like
so sad.
some man, I can't even think of the word. It was almost kind of like she was like under a spell. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It's crazy, which I mean they do talk about later how they're all connected, but that's still crazy to me.
That's what she kept saying though. She kept fellowship and love.
And
That's what
she
they
has such
wanted.
a sweet little voice too, so you're almost kind of like wanting to believe her because she looks so sweet and cute, but also so creepy at the
Yep.
same time. Especially when she was blood covered, I was like, damn.
Yep.
Like
So
Remick don't look creepy. Remick kind of looked kind of
he
hot to
looked
me.
like your he looked like he reminds me of Jack Harlow in a way.
Oh my god, he does. No, I was trying to think so fucking hard. Who does he look like to me?
He
And
kind of looks
yes,
like
that
Jack
is a
Harlow.
perfect example. He does. He
And
did.
that's what especially like old Jack Harlow, like if you see pictures of him from when he was in high school with like his glasses and stuff, that's how and that strong Remick energy
Oh yeah.
for sure. But Mary's like, "All right, I gotta get out of here," because then Remick turns around. He's like, "Oh, I can still save you from your fate or whatever." And she's like, "Bitch, I don't need saving. The fuck you talking about?" And he
Mm,
turns around, his eyes are glowing red, and he's got drool coming,
drool.
looking like my dog when I'm eating dinner, okay?
Literally, yeah.
And Mary's like, "All right, fuck this. I'm gonna go back inside." And Remick flies his ass over there. Then it cuts to them inside, and Pearline
Bro,
singing her
they moved on
beautiful
from.
song.
Sorry,
They said,
I'm
"We'll
like
leave this
comparing.
ambiguous. Leave it ambiguous for now."
You know,
Um, because it doesn't show anything happen. It just cuts to them inside, and Pearline starts singing, And man, that girl had some pipes.
Hell yeah, she did. She was, and her moves too, her dancing, and her
Everything was just
and her
so
voice. It was
beautiful.
just girl.
Beautiful.
Oh my. It
And then
was
Mary comes back in because Cornbread invites her back in. She's all slick about it, and she's like, "Well, aren't you gonna invite me back in?" And he's like, "Oh, well, come on in." Um,
no cornbread. He was
because he
too
didn't know.
oblivious for his own good sometimes, but he
Yeah,
really didn't know.
he didn't know. So then she's like, "All right, I'm gonna go seduce Stack now and take him in this room over here, and we gonna get freaky."
Freaky.
And Sammy walks in on them because they're like, go get Stack, because something's going down." And he's like, okay. Opens the door, and they're in there fucking. And he was like, nope, not getting him. Mm-mm. He walked back and he told Smoke, he said, I'm not getting him. And he said, well, why not? He said, he's getting him some nookie. And he said, boy, I don't care. He said, go get him. And he was like, I'm not doing that alone. You can do
You
it.
don't do that shit.
He said, you can do it. So Smoke goes in there, and obviously, well, Mary's turned into a vampire, and she's ripping
Yeah.
his throat out.
Ripping that shit out too. It was gnarly. I was like, ooh, yum.
We went from 0 to 100, just
Within seconds.
quick as fuck.
You know what's funny too is I forgot to mention whenever somebody turns, they instantly have 20 times more aura. Because when Mary walked back into the juke when she was turned, she was like she was already hot and like perfect, but she literally had like that like I
Radiating
am a bad
confidence.
bitch
Yes.
with yes aura to her. I was like, oh shit.
Everybody
She's
got,
a
like,
vampire.
way more sassy and just,
Mm-hmm.
like, confidence out the wazoo.
Yeah. You
But
could
yeah.
definitely see it. I always thought that was kind of cool that the actors did such a good job at
Mm-hmm.
showing
The
that.
difference.
Yes, I'm like, damn.
So Stack goes down. Mary gets our boy Stack, and
Rip.
they walk in and see what's going down, and she's like, "Oh, we gonna kill every last one of you." And they're like, "What the fuck?"
Mm.
And
And
then
then
she
she just
goes,
fucking books it.
she books it out of there. She gets shot like 18 times, and then
Yeah,
just goes running out the front. And she's like,
she
"I'll see y'all
runs.
later."
Dude, I saw behind the scenes. I'll have to show you, and it's so freaking funny because it's no sound, and it's the outside, and it all you see is Haley just fucking running, like laughing, like it's just so funny because you're like that.
That scene was good.
It was. She's
It
so
was,
silly.
but then it's depressing as hell because then, Smoke's already lost his baby, and his brother was
Yeah.
like all he had his whole
Everything to
life.
him.
His brother was everything to him. They did everything together.
Yeah.
They were two peas in a pod, loved each other so much. And,
Mhm.
you just watch his brother die right in front of him, and
Yeah.
he's holding him, he's crying, he's devastated.
That just sucked, man. I was crying. I was like, no.
And then
Like there's
Cornbread
just so much
disappears.
emotion.
Yeah. Then Cornbread
Where
disappears because
why did
he's
he
like,
just go?
I gotta go pee, watch the door. And so he leaves Delta Slim to watch the door. And he's been gone a minute. And when he goes to pee, that scene is so funny because he goes out there to pee, and then you just hear whispering, and they're like, hey, ain't that Cornbread? And they're like, fellowship and love, fellowship and love.
He's like,
And it's just like echoing. He's like, what in the hell
the
is
hell?
happening? And then it just like kind of cuts, and you're like, all right, leaving it ambiguous again.
Again.
And
Oh,
so then it cuts back into all the action inside, and he's trying to get to the bottom of everything, figure out what the fuck is going on, what these people are.
yep.
And at first she thinks they're haints, which I had never heard of until this movie.
I don't even know what that is to this day, to be honest. Like,
Well,
what is that?
she describes them and says that a haint is like a demon that has switched souls with a man or something like that.
Okay.
Um, and then she figures out that they're vampires later, but she's trying to figure out, she's trying to plan and be like, what are we up against? What do we need to
Yeah,
do? She is the woman with the plan.
she is. Yeah, always. She always was too. I love Annie. That part, the part where she dies, fucking. I literally cried.
I did too. It was
I was like,
devastating. Ripped
"Dude,
my heart out.
fuck." Their little pack that they had. If
Yep.
one of them turns to kill each other.
Yep. She said, "Do not
Right.
let that happen to me." She said, "Kill me. I got somebody waiting for me on the other side, and they are waiting on you too."
That just gave
She's
me the massive chills, bro.
Yes, same. She's like, "I just want to see my baby again."
Now you got me thinking about the ending and I'm gonna start crying.
I know.
That
So
was so
sad.
beautiful. So fucking sad.
But all this shit's happening. Cornbread finally comes back. He's at the door trying to get in, and they're like, he's asking for an invite in. He's like, "Now, if you'll just let me on in." And they're like,
Which is sus as fuck for
they
one,
were,
because it's
yeah,
cornbread.
they were like, "Hold on. Something's sus."
Mm-hmm.
Annie said, "Why do you need an invite?"
Mm-hmm.
She said, "Your big ass been coming in and get in and out of here all day, and you didn't need an invite. Why do you need one now?" And
Yep.
he was like, "I'm just being polite, is all. I don't want to come barging up into anybody's place." And they're like,
Because
"Well, why were you gone so long?" He said, "I told you I had to go to the bathroom." And then he starts beefing with Annie. And Annie was not the one to be beefed with. Because
she wasn't.
he said, "It's probably your nasty ass fish sandwich that got my guts messed up in the first place or whatever." He said she was using stale grease, and she said,
She was like, "Oh,
she
excuse
was
the fuck out of you."
she was taken aback. She said, "I have never used stale grease a day in my life, and you know it."
Mm, rude too.
And he
Fucking
kept cutting her
cornbread.
off too, and she said, I'm talking to you. Don't try to talk to him. Talk to me. We're talking." Because he keeps trying to be like, Stack, and
Well, I'll talk
or
to you.
Smoke. He's trying to talk to Smoke. And she's like, excuse me. We were talking. Talk to me. And I was like, "Yes,
the
Annie.
the scene was
Yes."
funny as fuck.
And then I think that was when Bo came walking up too, and he's like, "Come on now. I got the car ready, baby. Let's go." And I was like, "Damn."
I would have folded.
I was
I would have
like,
been.
"Okay." I want to be like, "Okay, yeah,
We can
we can
definitely
go."
go to the car, baby. We can go wherever you want. I'm down. When 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 was good?
No, you go ahead. You were ready.
When was the part where Cornbread's little
Oh,
hand scene?
the iconic GIF
Yeah.
from Twitter. Cause he's like, "Well, if y'all are gonna make me go the fuck home, I'm at least gonna get paid." And so he's sticking his hand out. And he's like, "Come on, give me my
Give me my
money.
money.
I'll take it and go." And then that's when he grabs him and
There we go. And
grabs
bites
him and
his
pulls
fucking
him out.
hand. Yeah.
And it's like, "Get the fuck out here." But then they close the door on him. And Delta Slim goes, "Do y'all smell anything?" He said, "I think I shot myself." That part was
That's
so funny
so
because he
fucking
was
funny.
so nonchalant about it. He just said, "Y'all smell something? I think I shot myself."
He's so real though, because I can only imagine how fucking scary that actually is in real life. Like
Right,
everybody always talks about like, oh, I could actually handle it. I could do it. Till you actually see like someone's neck get ripped out in front of you.
right.
You're
I'd be
probably not
like,
gonna be able to handle it as much as you think.
I know, be like, "Oh, so that's what we're doing."
I'd probably pass out. I'm not even gonna lie.
There were so many funny one-liners in this movie that just made me laugh so hard.
Yeah,
Because then
the little like,
right after the Delta Slim one was when Stack starts knocking on the door because they locked him in that room, and he starts knocking on the door, and they're like, "Stack, is that you?" And he said, "Nah, fool, it's Jim Crow."
Yeah, I remember that. That
That
was
shit had
funny.
me dying. I was laughing my ass off in the theater. And I laugh every time I hear it. Nah, fool, it's Jim Crow.
The way he says it too is just fucking hilarious.
And the pant, one of my other favorite shots in that movie, just because it's so, I don't know, it's funny. Like, I'd say it's funny whenever it shows Stack on the other side of the door, and then it pans like down, like you get like the angle of him looking down at the camera, and he kind of like looks
Yeah.
down and smiles and
Hmm.
shows his vampire teeth, and you can see his eyes glowing.
Yeah.
That was funny.
I loved how he had a grill,
Yeah.
like his grill fangs. I was like,
Yes.
oh my God, that is so fucking cool.
Yes.
You never see that in fucking vampire movies, so that
I
was so
loved it.
sick. I was like, hell yeah.
I loved it.
Freaking
But
stack.
yeah, they just. I'm trying to see.
Annie was so smart though, man. Annie was the one that knew how to kill all the vampires too. She
Hmm.
saw
She
wooden
figured it
stick
out.
heart. What did
She.
didn't they throw freaking holy water at Stack at some point?
It was pickled garlic.
Not pickled
It was
garlic.
a jar of pickled garlic, and she threw it
That
on
was
him, and
fucking
that's when he
holy
went
water.
running out. And she goes, "That's when she figured out and was like,
They're
these aren't haints,
vampires.
they're vampires."
That makes sense. I thought that shit was holy water. It's fucking garlic.
Hmm. But then, there was that web body or whatever that was laying on the floor, and they thought he got turned. And
Hmm.
so they throw his body outside because they're like, we gotta get him out. And then they realize, oh shit, he's actually alive. That was not blood all over the floor. Hold on. And they go out there, and that's when they're all like gathered. The gigantic crowd of people is just gathered, and they're singing
That
their
was
little Irish
insane.
Rocky Road to Dublin or whatever. And
Uh-huh.
Remix doing his little jig, and
This little
I
jig.
was
Dude, that
vibing.
shit was sick. Hell yeah.
I
I
was
loved
vibing.
it.
I was like, yeah, I would have let them turn me for sure.
Me too.
Which
It
Remick was
was
making some good points whenever he came and was talking to them.
he honestly
And
really was.
he was like, look, I've been on this earth long enough to know this place is a shithole, and I don't care about any of this bullshit.
Hmm.
He's like, I'll turn you, and we can just live peacefully and
Yep.
freely for
Do
eternity. And
yep.
I was
To
like,
do as you
he would have had
please.
me there. He would have had
Me
me
too.
there.
I would have been
And
like, go. Yes, sir.
and Stack's trying to convince Smoke. He's like, come on. I'm not doing this shit without you. We do everything together. Like, come on.
Not gonna lie, if that was you trying to convince me, I would be like, okay, you don't even have to convince me. I would just be like,
Be
why
like,
didn't you turn
done.
me from the get-go?
Be like,
What the
done.
hell?
Let's go.
For real. He should have went with him.
Yep.
Not that there would have been any story with that, but
Yep. But they're like, nah, 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 nah. And they lock the vampires out again. And Grace is freaking the fuck out because Remick's talking
rightfully
about
so.
how
Her
they're gonna go get little Lisa and
it's
turn
fucked up.
her or whatever, and she's freaking out. And so Lisa, which I saw a lot of people that were pissed, or not Lisa, a lot of people were pissed off at Grace
Grace.
because
Hmm.
they're getting everything prepared, and she's freaking out. She's like, he's gonna go get my baby. So she just yells, come on in, motherfuckers. And they were like, whoa now. Whoa
They got to be
now.
invited in, so
We weren't
they're
ready
like,
for
all
that.
right.
But I was like, you know what? Grace's crash
She's
out
real.
was valid. It was valid,
Oh
justified,
yeah.
100%.
I would
And
have done the same thing because I'm a mom, and if a vampire told me they were going to go get my kid,
mm-hmm,
I would be like, no, we're going to square up first. And if you turn me, then, I mean, tough tits, you know? You
right,
get my kid. But I'm not gonna go out without a fight. So she was
right.
real as fuck.
So then they have the most epic fight sequence ever.
Badass.
Also,
Facts.
most depressing ever because
Yeah.
obviously Stack tries to turn Annie. He bites Annie or whatever, and we all know that they made a pact.
Hmm.
So Smoke's gonna have to kill Annie. And I'm just sitting there like, just like, no, not my girl Annie. They got
I,
her. And then Smoke goes to kill her. And then it made me even more emotional because then Mary's like, just the way that she freaks out. And she's like, Annie, no!
I know, like she
Because
still
she just
has some
wanted them to
humanity.
be, she just wanted her family together for eternity.
I know.
And now they can't be together. And so then they leave. Stack gets Mary out of there, and he's like, get the fuck out. Like, come on. He kills Annie. They're trying to get Sammy out the back. Smoke and Stack are fighting each other.
Oh, dude, that scene was so intense
It was, and so
and
good.
sad at the same fucking time. How my butt cheeks hurt. Sorry.
And then Remick and Sammy have their epic little showdown in the pond, and
He was
Remick's like
baptizing.
baptizing. Yes,
Yes.
like the religious imagery there, so good.
Yep.
But he's baptizing Sammy, and he's talking about how he wants his stories and his gifts and yada yada yada, and so he's trying to turn Sammy, and Sammy took that guitar and boom,
Bam. Whacked him on the head. Bonk.
and then he gets like stuck in his head, and all the other vampires are like ah, because they can all
They're
feel
all
his. They're all
screaming.
connected and can feel his pain.
That shit was crazy.
Yep.
When they were all screaming like that, I was like, oh shit, they really are all fucking connected. They can all
Mm-hmm.
feel each other's pain, and it's kind of sad, to be honest.
Yep.
Not even gonna
And
lie.
and you see Smoke and Stack, and again they leave a lot of stuff to be. I don't know what word I'm looking for. A lot of
Biggie and Big.
ambiguity. I don't know how.
Don't ask me, girl.
It's very ambiguous, okay, on what happens between the two of them, which you find out later, like when the movie's ending in the post credits. But they're battling it out. You don't see the end result. And then Smoke goes out to, rescue Sammy. And we get the shot of Remick burning in the sun. And, God, that scene
That shit was
was so.
crazy.
It was crazy. It was beautiful. Everything. The lighting.
It was
God, everything was so
of
good.
the sunset coming up and stuff on
Mm-hmm.
reflecting on the lake and the fucking metal music too.
Yes.
Dude, that shit hit so hard. I was like, fuck yeah, that was the perfect choice for
Yep.
music towards that
All
end.
all the
Because,
vampires are like being torched. They're all
yep,
falling down on the ground on fire. Remick
freaking screaming,
burns into like a
twist.
fire tornado.
It was crazy. I was like, oh,
It
I
was.
loved, I mean, obviously they have to do this to make it make sense, but I just loved like the lighting so much. How when it showed Remick and he was lighting up on fire, and then it showed Sammy and Stack, and they were like it's like the reflection of the fire was like like shining
Mm-hmm.
on their skin kind of,
Yes.
and they were all like, oh shit, like fucking huge-eyed and scared and trembling and shit. That was
Yeah.
so cool. I just thought that was such a cool scene.
Yeah. And that's when Smoke's like, all right, get the fuck out of here, okay? And that's when we loop back to the beginning of the movie and you see the shot of Sammy driving the truck back up to the church and going inside, and now you know
Hmm.
exactly.
Why he was all fucked up in the beginning.
Yes.
His face was so scratched, like big ass claws.
Yeah.
His cheek.
Smoke's like, go home and bury that guitar, and he's like, I can't do it. He gets home, and his dad's, at the altar or whatever, and he's preaching his sermon, and stops because Sammy walks in the door all busted up with a broken ass guitar, and he's like,
Mhm.
put down the guitar, put it
Mm.
down, and he's just gripping that thing, and
Hell yeah.
I can't do it, I can't. And then Smoke sticks around. He pulls out the trunk. They mention the trunk several times throughout the movie about needing the trunk or
When
whatever.
where he stacks
All of
his
his
gun.
guns, yeah,
Yeah.
all the
Uh-huh.
guns. So he finally breaks the trunk out and he's like, all right, I'm about to kill me some clan members.
Was badass.
And
What a
so
fucking
he starts setting up. All the guys from the clan show up, planning to kill these guys. And he's just waiting for them. And so they show up and he's just pop, 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 killing all of them. And I was like, oh, this is
yeah.
beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Love to see
Mhm.
it.
Mhm. That shit was sick as fuck. Because at first he was all hiding and just shooting them, and then he just goes out gun blazing, just fucking pop, 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 pop. And
Hmm.
then of course the
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 scene with
the guy that
Annie.
he
Oh,
sold, he
oh
sold
yeah,
it
that
to.
guy.
He was like laying on the floor bleeding out, and he shoots him like fucking 10 times.
18. Yeah.
I was
And
hell
then
yeah,
he asked him for a cigarette.
yeah.
He said, "You got a cigarette?" And he was like, "Fuck you, dude." And then he starts shooting him, and then he hands him one or whatever, and he's sitting there smoking, and then he sees Annie. Oh God, that scene just ripped my heart to shreds.
Me too.
And she's,
Even even the scene right before when he's trying to roll his cigarette, but he
yeah,
can't because yeah, I was like,
but he sees and it shows Annie, and she's holding the baby. She's nursing the baby or whatever, and he's like trying to reach out for them, and she's like, if you put that cigarette out, you can hold her. He said, I don't want any of that smoke getting on her. And
chills, bro.
I could
Chills.
we could write an essay on that part
Yeah.
because obviously she meant it in a literal sense.
Yeah.
Didn't want any of that smoke getting on her, but smoke,
Figuratively speaking as
figuratively
well.
speaking, because he's, involved in gangs, he's a violent person or whatever.
Hmm.
He relies on crime to make his money and everything. He's not the most upstanding person to
Yeah.
some people's standards. Anyways,
Yeah.
and he's basically like, I don't want any of that shit to rub off on the baby.
Our baby. Yep.
Like, I'm gonna raise a proper youngling. But it was
Breaks my
just,
heart.
yeah. I was like, damn, that shit cut me deep when she said
Me
that. I
too.
was like,
And then you think it's over,
mm-hmm.
and then they show.
Oh, the music at the end,
Oh,
oh,
I know.
so good. But
Hmm.
we get the credits. There's post-credit scene. It's the 90s, right?
Yes. Yeah, now it's the 90s, which is how many fucking years since?
It's
Like
been
60 years past?
yeah,
God,
and I think they're in Chicago.
probably.
And
Makes sense.
Buddy Guy, who
Oh,
is
because it was
and
Buddy's, the Perlene's band.
yeah,
Yes, you're
yeah, yeah,
right. I
yeah.
forgot that was the ending.
Yeah, Buddy Guy, who plays Sammy at the end, who, if you don't know who Buddy Guy is, he is a famous blues musician and has
Incredible.
acted in some things as well. But he plays Sammy, and it flashes forward to him. You can see he's got the scars from
Hmm.
that night, and then Stack and Mary walk in to the bar, and
I like their
he
outfits, by the
yeah.
way. Quinn doesn't, but I
I did.
do.
I was getting eaten up in the Discord chat, low key. I felt kind of
You
bad.
were.
I was getting eaten up because I said Mary looks a whole mess because I don't know the earrings. It
Nah,
wasn't doing
a
it
lot
for
of people
me.
agree with you on Twitter. I
Yeah,
remember seeing a lot of people talking shit, and I was like, lay off my girl. All right.
everybody in the Discord chat was like, she looks
They lit
very
you up.
accurate to the time. She looks good, and I was like, sorry guys, I didn't mean to push any buttons.
They were like, this is very 1992. Okay.
I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't like it. But they walk in and they're talking and oh God, just ripped my heart out again because
Yep.
Smoke, or not Smoke, Stack's talking about, it's the last time I felt the sun, last time I saw my brother, etc., etc. And Sammy's talking about, how once a week he wakes up paralyzed in fear from everything that happened that night, but at the same time, he says that despite all the terrible things that happened, that was the best day of his life. Everything that happened
Chills
before
again.
then, he's talking about, like up until that point when shit started to hit the fan, he said that was the best day of my life.
Honestly, it. I'm thinking back on the whole movie too, and like it was just so beautiful seeing Sammy like in the beginning leaving, and he was so optimistic and so excited to finally like be out on his own and play his blues, and it just makes me kind of sad how it all ended. And he
Yes.
was, I mean, he still got to play his blues and stuff, but the poor man. Should
He
we go ahead?
I'm thinking. There's so many thoughts I have, but I don't know. It's just a beautiful movie. Everything about it was perfect. I would say so far this has been my movie of the year. Um, I'm sure
I
there
mean,
will be another movie of the year. Maybe. I don't know if anything's going to top Sinners for me this year.
nothing has for me. I've seen not too many of the 2025 movies, but I mean, I've seen a few of them, and Sinners is still in first place.
Yeah.
And
Sinners
then
was it immediately went into my top 4 on Letterboxd. I so good. Such a
yep.
beautiful movie, and we breezed past probably so many things
Oh yeah.
just for time purposes because we can't ramble on forever. We're constricted on time. But or restricted whatever word I'm
I
looking
think you
for.
were right.
Yeah. There's some time constrictions. So we breezed past a few things, but like there are so many details about this movie that we could talk about. Maybe one day we'll make a
We'll come back
bonus
to it or
episode. Yeah.
something.
Come back, make a bonus episode. Maybe that'll go on Patreon or something.
That would be fun, like a little bonus. Well, you just said that a bonus episode, but
Yeah. A little bonus episode where we do a little more of a deep dive into some of the details.
especially that music scene when Sammy's singing "In Your Arms" and stuff.
Yes,
Yeah, I would definitely like to talk more about that one because that
we
seems
could
fucking
analyze it. There's
beautiful.
a, on our recording site where we record for the podcast, there's an option for screen sharing. So
Mm.
if we did want to do that, we could probably do a screen share and like pull up that scene from Sinners and like watch it
Oh,
and
that's cool. Okay.
react to it. We could do
Yeah,
something
that'd
like
be
that.
super cool.
That would be
Okay.
fun.
Yeah, I would.
So stay tuned for potentially that coming in the future
Yes.
because that would be something that we could hop on here for like 30 minutes and do. And it just be a little bonus thing for our Patreon folks. So it doesn't have to be super organized and whatever.
Not that we ever are.
Yeah, we never are ever.
We try.
And both of us have to exile our the men in our house
Pretty much.
and be like, okay, I need silence.
Like,
We
yeah,
have to
if I keep my child here, we get 17 interruptions. So
literally,
the children gotta go.
yeah,
And the men gotta
yeah.
go. But we can't review our movie in
But
peace.
we're gonna do. I think last time I read my review of Heretic at the end of when we were talking about Heretic in our double feature last week, and so me and Hannah decided to read our letterbox reviews for you guys. at
Yes.
the end of our episode. So let me pull up mine and Hannah will pull up hers and we'll read you our letterbox reviews. Mine was not anything crazy special.
My first one was really good, and then my other two were pretty much just like masterpiece.
Yeah, I only
Do you want
did
to
the
go
one
first,
review on
or do you
my.
want me to go?
I'll go ahead and read mine. I have it pulled up.
Okay.
All mine said it really wasn't anything special. I'm not a master at letterbox reviews like some people.
I'm
Some of
not
you,
either.
some of you are very beautiful writers. I am not. Mine just said I rated it 5 stars, obviously, and said that this movie exceeded my expectations in every way. The story and the characters had me captivated from the very beginning. Truly one of the best movies that I've seen in a long time. Very beautiful movie.
Period.
I mean, straight to the point. That's usually how my
Right.
reviews are.
I love it. Couldn't get any better, to be honest. Mine. Oh my god, my finger's itchy. Sorry. I was literally fucking with my pen so much earlier that I broke it. And I was like, I feel like you just snapping the
Sitting
pen
there clicking.
constantly. Yep. All right. Sorry, guys. Okay. My review is also 5 stars, by the way, if that wasn't clear. But, he said, I wish I could give this movie more than 5 stars because it absolutely deserves it. It's so phenomenal, captivating, and beautifully filmed from the transitions between scenes to the overall aesthetic. It was incredible. The soundtrack was so good. I immediately added it to my playlist on Spotify. The acting on everybody's part was spot on. This movie deserves all the praise and hype it's getting because it's one of the best vampire movies I've seen.
Yes. Dude, if this movie
Period.
doesn't go up for an Oscar or multiple Oscars, I'm going to be
For multiple
pissed.
reasons. Yep.
I'm going to
Because the
be
soundtrack,
pissed.
cinematography, the filming, everything, the aspect ratio to everything is fucking deserving of awards. And if it doesn't win any, I'm rioting.
Same.
Because that's just blatant racism at that point if it's not if it's not given any awards. I'm just saying.
Yeah. That and discrimination against the horror genre, because
Which is always
we know the
happening.
Oscars hate horror.
Yeah. I'm surprised The Substance even got any recognition last year at all, because normally that never happens.
Yeah.
But The Substance also deserved it. That was
Yes,
a good
it
movie too.
did.
We should talk about that movie one day.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot to say about that one.
Oh yeah.
We could
For
do
sure.
we could do a few body horror, which we've already done some body horror, so I don't really know if we could do like a month of that, but there's lots
We
of body
definitely
horror
could.
movies. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Heck yeah. I know a lot of people wanted us to talk about The Thing, which is another really great body horror
Yes.
movie. So
I love The Thing.
me
It's
too.
so good.
Mhm.
Obviously, we have to do episodes on so many things, okay? We definitely
Yeah.
need to talk about The Crow because that's my current hyperfixation movie. I
It's-
will
yeah.
just keep rewatching it, and every time I'm like, I want to start over,
Just
start movie
replay.
over, just replay it.
Yep.
Which I honestly, I don't think I've had a phase like that since.
Terrifier 2.
No, not even that. Which I mean, I've rewatched Terrifier and like all the Terrifier movies a million times. But I mean, like to the point where I'm like rewatching multiple times in a day. I haven't had a movie like that really since probably middle school. I had a I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Never Back Down, but I had a Never Back Down
Mm-mm.
fixation in middle school and or early in high school, one of the two. I don't know. But I literally watched that movie 3 times in one day once. And it's not
So
like
real.
it's not a really good movie at all. I just thought that the main guy was really hot and Amber Heard's in it and
Ah, love
um
her.
obviously she's gorgeous. And so
Of
oh and
course.
Evan Peters is in it. I think that was the main reason I watched it was because Evan Peters was in it, which this was like
Oh,
This movie's in like 2008, so Evan Peters was like young, super
like a
nerdy,
baby.
nerdy. He was in like a bit of a chubby phase, still adorable as hell,
Cute.
but it's so good. And then it's got I can't think of his name. Well, can't. I'm gonna butcher his last name. It's like Cam Jagande. He plays James in Twilight, and he's in some
Oh,
other stuff.
okay.
He's in some other stuff. He plays the main antagonist, but I love that movie, which is a very strange movie for me to like because it's about like MMA fighting.
Do you even like that kind of stuff? Kind of. Not really.
And no, but I really love that movie. It's one of my comfort movies. I still watch it.
I'm
It's
gonna have to watch it now. Never Back Down? Is that what you said?
yeah, I think it's on Prime or something. I know I own it for sure on
I'm
DVD
gonna watch
and
it.
digital.
My first ever hyperfixation. This is why I
Ooh,
don't speak, y'all. Was Nightmare Before Christmas. That was mine.
we could always, if we, instead of playing Dead by Daylight, we could watch that movie together.
What movie?
The one we were just talking about.
Never Back Down.
Yeah, I'll make you watch that.
I'd be so down. I was like,
Uh,
oh, what movie? We just talked about it 2 seconds ago. Oh, my brain. Love it.
ADHD brain.
I know.
All right, guys. Well, as you know, hopefully you know if you follow our socials, which I would think you do if you're here.
Yeah.
Um, we've got a whole month of vampires coming up for you. We Sinners. We've got The Lost Boys next up on the menu.
Oh, I'm so excited. I've never seen it.
I love The Lost Boys. It's one of
Mm.
my favorite movies of all time. One of my favorite soundtracks of all time, which
I
matches
hear
up with
that
this
too.
movie. So there's that, and then we're gonna do Abigail and Fright Night. So whole month of July is gonna be dedicated to vampire films. We wanted to throw
As
in
it
two
should.
classics and two modern movies, so that's what we're doing. And I'm very excited because I love vampires.
Me too. I'm so excited for The Lost Boys. I have heard the most incredible things about that movie, and I've been meaning to watch it, but I just kept putting it off.
It's
And I'm
amazing.
kind of happy that I did because now I get to watch it for the first time and review it with you. And I'm super freaking excited.
I hope that you love it because if you don't, I'll be sad. Because the last people I
I'll
showed it
love it.
to, I made Dylan and Lindsay watch it, and both of them were like,
Really?
which,
They didn't like it?
which Dylan doesn't like horror movies anyway, so I wasn't expecting him to love it. I thought he would like be like, it's okay, and he was like, it was okay, which is what I expected. But Lindsay was like,
Yeah.
she doesn't like
Really?
older movies, so she was just bored.
Mm. Like, doesn't she like Star Wars? Star Wars is kind of old.
Yeah,
Kinda.
yeah,
Kinda.
yeah. But stay tuned, guys, for the next few weeks. You'll be getting lots of vampire content from us.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, maybe
Vampires.
for one of our episodes, we should like dress very vampire-y.
I could definitely do some vampire makeup. I wish I had teeth, but I don't.
Mm-hmm, me too.
I know
You
they
would
sell
be
them.
struggling to talk. We'd be over here with a lisp. Everything we'd say have a lisp.
You're right. Would we get in trouble if we put fake blood on?
I don't know. I
I don't
don't
want to like
think so.
get our content flagged and stuff, but I feel like that would be pretty cool to do. Just little like drip marks.
Do that. I wish get some little fake teeth. I need some red contacts.
Oh, I know. That would be sick. I want to get contacts. Why can't I talk, bro? I want to get contacts like Art the Clowns, like the white
The
ones.
white ones, yeah.
Those ones are sick. Creepy though, but sick
Yeah.
as fuck.
Well, that was our discussion on Sinners. We hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you enjoyed Sinners as much as we did, because I don't know how you would not. It's a perfect movie, in my
It
opinion.
is. I agree. I literally just got ate up on Twitter for saying it was the best movie I've seen. So, yeah, I agree.
Oh, did you really? I must have missed
Yeah.
that. I haven't been
You,
active. Was it today? Or was it when
no,
we
it
watched
was
it the other night?
immediately after we watched it. I
Oh,
tweeted it was the best movie I've ever seen, and people lit me the fuck
you've
up.
been
And I
getting
was
lit
like,
lit up about everything lately.
bro,
I need to go
I
stalk the replies on your Terrifier tweet because I haven't seen them.
oh oh they're bad.
I only
People
saw
are
some of
bullying
them.
me. It got worse. It was
Okay.
it was okay at first.
There were only like two
It's
last
gotten
night when
worse.
I looked, but I'll have to go check again when we get off of here.
I think it's funny because they're tearing me apart for an artwork,
Yeah,
but it was
they'll get over it.
they'll get over it. I
Fuck them.
guarantee you, half of them haven't even seen the Terrifier movies to begin with. So,
No, definitely not. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed listening to us yap as always. We tried to go off on less tangents this time, or at least I did for time purposes. um,
I
yeah, that
tried.
was that was Sinners. Stay tuned for more vampire content. We'll be back next Monday. Join us for our movie night in our Discord. I don't know why I keep saying that like it's gonna matter when the episode drops. Well,
It
no,
does
the
if they're
the
listening on
episode the
Monday.
episode yeah, if you listen Monday, tune in to our movie
Tuesday.
night on Tuesday. Tuesdays at 5:30 every Tuesday. We watch our movie. So, whatever's on the menu that week, join us in our Discord, watch it with us. We have a great time every time.
Every time.
Everybody has a great time. So, stop by. We would love to have you.
Yes, we would. Yes, we would. All right, guys. Thanks for stopping by the Clown Cafe.
Thanks for dropping in. Hope you had a good meal.
I hope it was delicious.
Hope it was a nice little treat.
Hope it was a little funny.
Yep. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.